the burning of Kyoto, the Onin War, and the fall of a golden city. When Japan's capital turned to ash and chaos ruled the streets. Long before Tokyo, Kyoto was the soul of Japan, a city of emperors, poets, temples, and peace. But peace does not last forever. In the 15th century, a war broke out that would burn the capital and break the country. This was the Onin War. A civil war is so senseless, even the generals lost track of what they were fighting for. And Kyoto, the heart of Japan, was caught in the fire. A capital of beauty. For centuries, Kyoto had been the imperial city, home to the emperor, surrounded by mountains, filled with gardens, temples, art, and ceremony. It was the pride of a nation, but beneath its beauty, tensions were growing. The shogunate was weak, the clans were restless, and the question of succession would ignite a war. The war begins. In 1467, two powerful families, the Hosokawa and the Yamana, clashed over who would control the next shogun. What began as a political dispute quickly turned into full-scale war in the streets of Kyoto. Samurai armies set up camps inside the city. Temples were turned into fortresses. Civilians were trapped between blades and flames. For 11 years, Kyoto burned. The city in ruins. By the end, nearly 80% of Kyoto was destroyed. Homes, temples, palaces, gone. The emperor himself, once the symbol of divine power, was so poor he couldn't afford food. He sat in silence, while warlords ignored him. The capital of Japan had become a ghost. The aftermath. The Onin War ended in 1477, not with a peace treaty, but because the soldiers simply stopped caring. The warlords left the ruins, the shogunate lost control, and Japan descended into a century of chaos, the Sengoku period, an age of constant war and rising samurai lords. Kyoto was a city of gold, turned to ash. And from that ash rose a darker, more fractured Japan. But even in ruins, the spirit of Kyoto endured. It would be rebuilt, restored, and remembered. If you lived in Kyoto during the war, would you flee the flames or stay to defend a city already lost? What would you choose when honor and survival collide? The tale of the 47 Ronin, the samurai who waited 1 year for revenge, a true story of loyalty, sacrifice, and honor that defied time. In the dead of winter, under a moonlit sky, 47 men walked silently through the snow. They had no master, no home, only a promise. This is the true story of the 47 Ronin, the most legendary samurai revenge in Japanese history. The death of Lord Asano. In 1701, a noble lord named Asano Naganori served the shogun. One day, he was insulted by a corrupt court official, Kira Yoshinaka. Outraged, Asano drew his sword inside Edo Castle, a grave offense. He was ordered to commit seppuku, ritual suicide. His lands were taken, his title was erased, and his samurai became Ronin, warriors with no master. They were forbidden to seek revenge, watched closely, mocked, but in secret, they waited. 1 year of silence. For more than a year, the 47 Ronin pretended to give up. They took jobs as laborers, merchants, and beggars. Some even acted drunk to avoid suspicion. But behind the masks, they planned. They waited. They watched. They prepared until the night came, the night of revenge. On December 14th, 1702, in the quiet of night, they struck. They stormed Kira's mansion in Edo, fought through guards, and finally found Kira hiding in fear. They gave him a chance to die with honor. He refused, so they ended him. Then they did not flee. The end of the 47. They turned themselves in. The people praised them. The court was torn. In the end, the shogun allowed them to die with honor. Each Ronin committed seppuku and was buried beside their fallen master. Legacy. Their graves still stand in Sengakuji Temple in Tokyo. Every year, people leave flowers and incense. They broke the law, but kept the code. They gave their lives for loyalty. They had no title, no reward, no tomorrow, only a promise, and the courage to keep it. Would you wait in silence for over a year to honor a fallen friend? knowing it would cost your life? What would you have done if you were one of the 47? The life of Tomo Gozen, the woman samurai who fought like a legend, a warrior in a world of men who left history speechless. In a time of war, when only men were meant to carry swords, one woman picked up her blade and carved her name into legend. Her name was Tomo Gozen. She was brave, deadly, and beautiful, and she fought like thunder. The time of the Genpei War. In the 12th century, Japan was torn apart by civil war, a brutal struggle between two powerful clans, the Taira and the Minamoto. Among the warriors of Minamoto rode a woman. Her name was whispered in campfires, feared on the battlefield, and respected by even the most hardened generals. She was Tomo Gozen, retainer to Minamoto no Yoshinaka, and one of the only female samurai in recorded history. Warrior of the Wind, Tomoe was skilled in archery, swordsmanship, and horseback riding. She wore full armor, led troops into battle, and was said to fight with the strength of 10 men. In one battle, she reportedly beheaded a rival general. While surrounded by enemy soldiers, she didn't ask for mercy. She didn't expect protection. She fought as an equal and earned her place. The last battle. As the Genpei War neared its end, her lord Yoshinaka was betrayed by his own cousin, Minamoto no Yoritomo, who sought full control of the Minamoto clan. Outnumbered and surrounded, Yoshinaka fought his last stand at the Battle of Owazu. Tomoe rode beside him. Some say he ordered her to leave, not to die in disgrace beside him. Others say she chose her final fight. In one version, she killed a famous warrior in single combat, then vanished. What became of her? No one knows. Some say she became a nun. Others say she continued as a warrior in disguise, or that she died quietly, her sword buried beside her. But her legend lived on. In a world that told her no, she picked up her blade and said yes. She rode with the wind, fought like fire, and left behind. Do you think you could stand alone on a battlefield? Like Tomo Gozen, knowing no one expects you to survive, what would you fight for? The Great Kanto Earthquake, when Tokyo crumbled. The day the capital fell silent. A story of sudden disaster, resilience, and rebirth. On a quiet morning in Tokyo, as families prepared lunch, children played in alleyways, and trains rolled gently down their tracks, the ground began to shake. What followed was one of the most devastating moments in Japan's modern history. This is the story of the Great Kanto Earthquake of 1923. A city on the rise. Tokyo, then known as the heart of the Kanto region, was thriving. Skyscrapers were rising. Factories were booming. The city was modern, busy, and proud. But on September 1st, 1923, at 11:58 a.m., everything changed. The earthquake strikes. A 7.9 magnitude earthquake struck just south of Tokyo. The ground split open. Buildings collapsed in seconds. Bridges crumbled. But it wasn't just the quake. It was lunchtime. Fires were already lit across the city. And when the earth shook, those fires spread. The firestorms. Wind turned small flames into walls of fire. Neighborhoods became traps of smoke and ash. Over 140,000 people died, many from fire, not falling stone. Some say the sky turned red, that the air itself screamed, that entire families vanished in a moment. A nation in shock. The government was paralyzed. Communication lines were down. The emperor survived, barely, as the palace was rocked. False rumors spread. Panic turned violent. Even innocent minorities were blamed, attacked, and killed. The disaster brought out both Japan's greatest strength and deepest pain. Rebuilding Tokyo. In the years that followed, Tokyo was rebuilt with modern safety in mind. Stronger buildings, open parks as fire breaks, emergency systems. The scars remained, but so did the determination. In 1 minute, Tokyo fell. But in the years that followed, it rose again. From silence, from ash, from grief. And with it, rose a nation stronger than before. Imagine standing in the ashes of your city with nothing left but silence. Would you have the strength to rebuild, or would you be lost in the past? Hiroshima, the city that fell from the sky, the morning the sun exploded. A haunting tale of destruction, survival, and the strength to begin again. On the morning of August 6, 1945, Hiroshima was quiet. The sky was clear. The streets were waking. Children were heading to school. Mothers swept doorways. Fathers walked to work. Then, at 8:15 a.m., the world changed forever. Without warning, a flash of light brighter than the sun tore through the sky, and then silence. The bomb. The United States dropped the first atomic bomb ever used in war. Its name was Little Boy. The explosion was unlike anything seen before. A fireball of heat, wind, and light. 80,000 people died instantly. Hiroshima, once a proud and bustling city, became a sea of ash. The sky turned black, rain fell dark and poisoned, and survivors walked in silence. Their shadows burned into the ground. The survivors, they called them the Hibakusha. The bomb affected people. Many were children. Some had lost everything. Others wandered in pain, their eyes searching for names, for faces, for answers. Hospitals overflowed. Water was gone. And the radiation had only just begun its work. But even in the ruins, some chose to live. Rebuilding Hiroshima. In the years that followed, Hiroshima did not give up. It rebuilt from ash and sorrow, brick by brick, home by home. It became a city of peace, with the Peace Memorial Park and the A-bomb Dome, standing as quiet witnesses to what once was. Some cities are built from stone, others from steel, but Hiroshima was rebuilt from memory, from loss, from the fragile strength of those who stayed. When a city is lost in a single moment, what memory do you think lingers the longest? The sound, the silence, or the faces never seen again?